Have my notes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vine Panther Presents. Today, Stacey and I shall get into Tyler Perry's The Oval. Spilled the Tea has asked us to do this a few times, and I said no, because it's Tyler Perry. I said, I'm not giving this man any more of my time nor money. But I got to say I was wrong. From the first opening scene of this series, it had me. I was like, all right, Tyler Perry, after Ruthless and after The Oval, I'm like, Tyler Perry may have some talent, just a little bit. Hold on. So what is this about? Okay, I'm gonna give you a very general overview because it's 24 episodes we're about to discuss, and we're just gonna go to the what the fuck moments. It was just so many times I had to write stuff down. That's what basically we're gonna do. So if you ever watched this show, you probably not gonna have a lot of context, but you just watch the damn show. Like, we can't explain 24 hours of TV, all right? So, what was it about? So we have the Franklin family. The Franklin family is the 46th presidency in the United States White House. You have Hunter and Victoria. They are the president and the first lady. How did they get here? So we understand that's really about Victoria. So her parents, who you only meet the mom in this first season, she and her husband are one of 5 families that control America to an extent. Victoria was a college student. She got pregnant by Hunter, which created Gail, who Victoria hates with all her heart, because the birth of Gail tied her to Hunter. Hunter hates Victoria because Victoria's parents told Hunter that now that you got our daughter pregnant, you are now belong to us. And we're going to use your tall, dumb, white ass, basically, to control the world. So first they made him mayor, then they made him a governor, and now they made him president of the United States. And through Victoria's family, they run, her parents' plan is to run the world through Hunter and Victoria. That's really what this is overall. And they said his whole staff is almost pretty much dictated by Victoria's family. And in different ways, and therefore that's how they're orchestrating this whole thing. They have 2 kids, Gail and Jason, who are both dysfunctional as much as their parents are, and it's just a wild ride of all the bullshit this family gets into and what they put their friends and co-workers on, lovers, and just shenanigans. Like, to me, this show is Shonda Rhimes' Scandal, like the first 3 seasons before they got that B613 bullshit, when they just like actually did political scandals, right? And like Love and Hip Hop, like the ratchetness of Love and Hip Hop put together. Like, that's what I get out of this show, and you can't stop watching. Like, I was like, so anyway, that's how I see it. Stacey, what are your thoughts? Why did you continue watching this show?
Because you made me. When this first came out, I tried watching the first episode, and that opening scene, I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, I just like, no, click, and I just moved along, because I was just like, why, Tyler, why?
Please describe the opening scene.
It was like an MMA fight between Victoria and Hunter.
This was inauguration night, which is a key for. It's very important that you understand that, because once you think what Lily was doing in the daytime, that she was flying to the inauguration in the daytime, but somehow still nights. Anyway, so yes, Hunter is elected president. There's no vice president. 24 episodes. You have no damn clue who the vice president is, except for the fact his wife is ugly, apparently, which you only hear about. But he and Victoria she spits in this man's face, and they begin to beat the shit out of each other in the hotel room on their way to the inauguration ball. Like, where like Barack and Michelle dance with Beyonce singing. Like, that's what they were going to. And they're beating the shit out of each other till she like hits him on top of the head with a vase. He punches the shit out of his wife. And to the point that he's bleeding on the top of his head, that a secret agent, Max, has to come in, I guess, sew up his head. She's like, I need more hair and makeup. And that's the Oval. Like, Tyler Perry did this to say, if you can accept the first 3 minutes of this show, you will accept the show. Like it never stops from there. It just gets crazier and crazier. But when I screamed out loud during this fight because I was like, what the fuck am I watching? You go back to Fitz and Millie. Nothing they did to each other in that whole series matched up to that first 3 minutes of this show. Like nothing. But I was like, but it's still that same vibe. It's still that same vibe of a white man president who loves himself some black women, a first lady who's tired of her husband. She always cheating on her, and she hates him, but she's stuck with him, and she can't get any love of her own, just like Millie. She can't find anyone to have sex with her, and she tries a lot. And it's just that constant vibe. But anyway, so again, I thought the best way Stacey and I could do this would kind of go down the point to point of counterpoint of like with the craziest ass moments of this show in these 24 episodes that I just like, I was like, I got to keep on watching. I got to see where this train wreck is going. And I'm all for it. It was great. But yeah, that first fight. So for me, that first fight had me. Okay, they had me at punching each other. Like this wasn't no Ike and Tina Turner shit. Like Victoria was going fist to fist with this dude and started it really. It's just crazy. So what's your next moment that you were like,
Well, piggyback on that, there was an additional fight that happened. And before the Secret Service entered the room, Victoria ran headfirst into the wall and knocked herself out. I was like, what? And then Hunter, the Secret Service busts in, and Hunter's like, they go to aid him and her. He was like, don't worry about her. Just let her, she all right, and I'm like, she has a concussion, I'm sure.
She knocked the fuck out.
Like head first, like, wham.
She said, ah! Bam! Knocked herself out on purpose. Like she like aimed herself at the wall and was like, boop, and just fell to the ground out. But before you get...
Was that a stunt woman? Like,
It had to be. But guess what? Let's talk about the shit that happened before to get to this point. So Victoria places broken glass in the shower so Hunter can step on it and put his foot bleeds. I was like, God damn. Hunter hates his wife so much because he's stuck to this family. Like, unlike Millie and Fitz, where like you didn't really understand why they hate each other so much and they're at war with each other. It just seems stupid, really. But you can see how both of them are trapped in this shit. And Hunter feels completely trapped. Like her parents are controlling them. And he feels helpless in many ways. He actually told Donald, his chief of staff, if he could pull back the Secret Service detail on Victoria to see if she could be killed by some of the people who made crazy claims about her on the internet. He seriously considered, he was like, can I just let them kill her? It's like, is that a thing? And he was like, nah, dude, you can't really do that. He's like, oh shit. All right. Well, don't say I didn't try. But they fight several times. Dude, Victoria is a straight beast. Like, she is a cartoonish level, like Alice, like Wizard of Oz level witch villain. Like, she is so over the top with her shit. And her mother is 10 times worse than that. Like, you can see where she gets it from. But of all this shit, you can see the show. Victoria is an abused girl who became an abuser. Her mom treats her like straight shit. And she just does the same thing to her kids. She does the same thing to everybody around her. I mean, it's a really terrible situation to be in, but she is a hilarious like character. So Hunter loves black women. He married one. His first mistress is Denise, which is the twin sister of Ruth, which is where Ruthless came from. The same actress plays both characters. Victoria beats the straight shit out of this woman in her boutique. She goes to the boutique where this woman, because she has Denise has a boutique. She asks her to go in the back so she can try on some clothes. The first lady takes off her jewelry, puts on Vaseline, and begins to just punch and kick the shit out of this woman in her own like store. It is hilarious.
Like she didn't either take her wig off or like get some cornrows.
I thought she really was gonna be like, no, bitch, I'm taking all this week, and we're about to get real. Like, she wait. Then she beats Denise's ass in the White House. Like she goes to the Oval and whoops this girl's ass in the White House. Denise ends up being decapitated in the president's bed. We have no idea who did it, but the president was having sex with her while Victoria is out with Jason and Gail and her mother. So their grandmother, they're out. So Victoria didn't do it. Secret Service agent is standing outside. Kyle is standing outside the president's bedroom, waiting for him to get done with Denise. Hunter goes to the bathroom to clean up for round 2. He comes back. There's a dead body. I knew she was going to be dead. Like, I knew that, but I was thinking she was going to be choked, maybe stabbed, maybe stabbed by some mysterious person. Her whole head was gone.
He picked it up and is like, I'm like, what?
Then Tyler Perry's like signature bad special effects, the blood that starts spurting from her corpse is completely hilarious. There's blood all over him, all over the bed, all over the car. I mean, the whole room is soaked in like, it looked like something from The Exorcist, like just some wild Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit, just blood everywhere. And he's like, oh, fuck, she's dead. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. It was complete craziness. When they try to clean it all up, Victoria finds out because she knows everything. They're trying to get rid of the bloody mattress because they still have the bloody mattress in the bedroom. She says, if anyone asks, I had a heavy flow in my period. Stacey, what was your response?
Uterus had evacuated her body and just ran around the room because it ain't that much blood in the world. Uterus is like, I'm out.
Yeah. It was unbelievable. I was like, there's no one who's gonna believe that. There's no one unless you are completely dead. Like, you have to be dead. Because Kyle, the two Secret Service agents, Max and Yuma find it, and they're like, whoever did this is dead. Whoever body this blood came from is obviously dead. Like, there's no way they're alive. So Victoria's relationship with her kids is completely like dysfunctional. Because again, she looks at Gail, her daughter, who's also played by the same actress who plays Lauren on Power Book 2. This girl is off the chain. Like, she surely hates her family. It's mutual. She hates her mother, and it's mutual, right? So, okay, so we're gonna go back to the first part. So the first part, when I met Gail as what the fuck character is this? Inauguration night, she doesn't want to go to the inauguration ball. She decides that she's gonna get drunk and come home to the White House. She runs into Barry, who is the son of the lead butler, which is named Richard, in true Tyler Perry form. Gail tries her best to suck Barry's dick because that's what Tyler Perry does, ladies and gentlemen. It's facts, okay? Everything he does, a woman will be on her knees at some point sucking penis. Like, Tyler Perry has a thing for that, okay? So as she's trying to suck Barry's penis, Barry says, get off me, stop, and then knocks her out, as she hits her head. Tyler Perry's done this before too. And she's knocked out. She wakes up and accuses Barry of raping her at this point. And then his dad Richard gets fired. Victoria hates Gail so much she tases this girl to the point that Gail pisses herself in the White House. Gail hates her mother so much that Gail jumps out of a moving car because she don't want to be without her parents no more. To the point that Victoria gives 2 fucks. She tells the secret agents, put her ass back in that car. That's what your dumb ass gets for jumping out the the car, which is absolutely true. That's what your dumb ass gets. She's like, I'm hurting.
And then she says, I want you to feel pain. And she shows her a video because when her jumping out the car, she snuck out of the White House by hiding in the trunk of a maid's car.
Yeah, Joan, the late
and
Joan.
goes to the hood to fuck her drug dealer boyfriend, who apparently can't stand her ass either, but she's a good lay, so whatever. So we get the red light sex scene that Tyler Perry does.
Tyler Perry classic.
And I guess when Barry comes over, he was like, you know what this is? She accused me of raping her and this, that, and the other. So she gets tossed out or whatever. And she's saved by Barry's dad, who I guess is a ninja. Like, he said he was a ranger. What is a ranger?
No. He was in the war. Kyle and Barry were rangers.
I thought he said Barry was a ranger.
Kyle and Barry were rangers because that's how they met each other.
Oh.
Bobby. I'm sorry, Kyle and Bobby.
That's why I was like, Barry?
No. Barry don't do shit. He ain't got no kind of fucking job. He just yells at his girlfriend Sharon all day and beats up.
Well, he's some type of trained assassin because he fights off 5 drug dealers half his age. And he's just pow, 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 and saves the first daughter
from being raped because she was about to get it. It's sad. It was very yeah. And
so Secret Service comes back and kills the remaining drug dealers that they find. And then Kyle sadistic as, I guess, videotapes all his murders and shenanigans. So he sends to Victoria, and Victoria shows her daughter her boyfriend being murdered.
So Kyle, somehow Kyle and Victoria, who don't seem to like each other, apparently they must have coordinated this because Kyle used Gail. He went looking. So after Gail was safe at the White House, Kyle went to go look for her phone. So they geolocated the phone. And when he found the phone, he took it and shot everybody. Like, he lined up Picky, who is Barry's brother
/ cousin,
because that's a whole other thing. I was like, Stacey, you're not done with this show. Like, just keep watching. So anyway, so Picky and his other 3 gangsters are lined up on their knees. And Kyle is this dude. If you remember Scandal, he is Tom. He is the gay killer Secret Service agent like Tom, right? And he's fucking the chief of staff, which is Donald, just like Cyrus.
/ David Harrington.
Yeah. So this is basically like Cyrus and Tom in this situation. But anyway, Kyle is completely off the hook. Anyway, he takes Gail's phone, shoots these gangsters one in the order. Picky's the last one. I was like, Picky's gonna be fine. It's just gonna cut to black. He shoots Picky straight in the head. Done. I was like, this show is off the hook. Then then Victoria hands her daughter the phone. It was like, so you went to go see your boyfriend? I told you would never see that man again. Please watch the video. And she's like, what the fuck? And she watches her boyfriend get murdered. The guy who just broke up with her because he was tired of the bullshit, of her. And then I was like, this show is fucking crazy. So if you remember Scandal, and let's talk about First Daughters and videos, okay? If you remember Scandal, there was a whole episode where Olivia Pope and crew were called in with Black Hawk helicopters and shit to stop these college kids from posting a video that they had group sex with Fitz's daughter. Like they did it's called Eiffel Towering, the Eiffel Tower. So basically she was in the middle, she had a guy on both ends, and then they high-fived themselves, and somehow somebody else recorded it, but it's called Eiffel Towering because it makes like a triangle thing. Fitz didn't. Anyway, he was very upset when he found out the name of the term. But basically, she got gangbanged to an extent. A whole episode was dedicated to just get rid of this video. This was the dumbest shit. I was like, what is Shonda Rhimes doing right now? This show, written by Tyler Perry, is 10 times better of a storyline where the first daughter watches a tape of her boyfriend being murdered by a Secret Service agent. Like, this is so much better. real quick, I want to talk about the poor representation of black people by black people, FUBU, if you will. As much I was watching this video, there's this black filmmakers group that I'm a part of on YouTube, and they keep showing this video where like Lawrence Fishburne and other black actors are talking about how they're tired of always playing gangster this and drug dealer that and prostitute this. They're like, white Hollywood just keeps putting us in these stereotypical roles, right? Let's talk about Gail over here. The actress that plays Gail, the first daughter, right? Boyfriend is a what? Drug dealer. This show is written by who? Tyler Perry, a black man. Now the same actress is on Power, right? Written by who? A black woman. She plays Lauren, the daughter of two well-to-do black people who go to an Ivy League school. Who is she in love with? A drug dealer. Black people are making black people look bad. That even when black people are in the White House, even when black people go to Ivy League schools, in the end, they're criminals. In the end, the women are going to end up with drug dealers because they deal with black men. That's what black Hollywood is doing to us. So just think about that. Next time you want to be like, those damn white people are making us look like this. No, black people will make black people look like this. There you go. Anyway, fun fact. But it's that Gail is incomplete. She's nothing compared to her brother. Oh my God. Jason Franklin is a sexual predator and murderer. He spends the most of the show just walking around the White House butt naked. To the point that the parents know this. And even on the inauguration night, they were like, do not let our son walk anywhere by himself. He cannot be left unattended. I thought that was the worst of it. Him walking around the house butt naked. No, he jacks off at dinner, at lunch, with his mother, his sister, and his grandmother. He just whips it out and at the table.
At the table. Grandma like,
what are you doing over there, boy? Grandma knows everything that's going on in the White House. Up to the minute. Like she shows up for the first time to see Victoria and her shitty grandkids. She already knows that her son-in-law, Mistress Denise, is dead from the White House, which Victoria didn't even know at the time. And she knew that Hunter, the president, gave his girlfriend insider trading tips. And Victoria's like, who the hell is snitching? Like, who is telling my mother all this stuff? And as much as the Hunter talks shit and Victoria talks shit, Mom is bigger than both of them. Because when she talks, they listen. Like, they're like, I'm sorry, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. And you see Victoria become a whole different character. Anyway, Stacey, what did Jason do at the end of the series?
He raped and murdered a maid and shoved her under the bed and left her there.
Yes. And then what did he say?
He said something about, damn, this happened again, as if he's done this before.
This dude is a monster. And like, and I thought the whole streaking thing and like the jacking off thing was the worst. And he's been stalking
him hacking into the internet. And I never thought about like the first kids. They can't just be on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff just all willy nilly.
Well, didn't Malia? Don't she have a Twitter? I don't know.
I think when they left the White House, yeah, but I don't remember them tweeting and being on Facebook while they were in the White House.
I mean, it would not be age appropriate.
Now those Bush twins.
They were wilding.
They were wilding.
So it ain't good.
They had some Eiffel Towers going on.
It's a wild shit. It's a wild shit. But it's crazy. So that's just the first family. All right. Oh, Victoria and Tyler Perry. So much like Millie, again, Victoria cannot find anyone to have sex with her. And as much as she acts like she hates her husband, she hates the idea that he keeps on cheating on her because he cheats with Denise, and she is not the first mistress. Then he cheats with...
Or the last.
Or the last, because then it comes Ellie. Ellie is the young Black woman who turns out to be the assistant press secretary for the White House. And Hunter sees this beautiful woman, has sex with her, and then decides she's the new press secretary, replacing Diana, another Black woman. So basically, Hunter has a thing of replacing black women with younger, lighter versions of themselves. That seems to be a thing. Yeah. And he's consistent, though. Like, with 3 Black women under his belt, I have to say, I'm impressed that he's kept his penis in the Black community. Because, you know, not a lot of Black men can do that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm more impressed that as a white man, he's like, you know what? I stick with what I love. And I respect that. All right. I was waiting to say that. I want to see Stacey's face when I said it. But I digress. Let's talk about Barry, this piece of shit. Yeah, this month. So yeah, he was falsely accused of rape and by Gail, and that's not okay. That is not okay.
But you know what? If he had been at work and not sitting at home on his ass, he would have never been at the White House to get accused of rape.
Barry ain't got no job. You know who works? His girlfriend, Sharon. And you know what she gets for all that? She lives with Barry's parents.
Shit.
Huh?
He gets treated like shit.
On a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yelled at, accused of causing the kidnapping of his daughter, who he's the baby daddy of Ruth, which is how we get Ruthless, because Ruth is introduced in this in this series. This is not a spinoff. Like, Ruthless is not a spinoff. Ruthless is a retelling of a story using characters Ruth and Tally, because Tally kills herself, you know, in Barry's family's house in front of Richard and Nancy, his Barry's mother. So she's dead as shit. And the Rakadushi is introduced in this show in a whole different way, because they're all DC based, so it's very different. But Barry loses his daughter, as you saw in Ruthless. But he constantly is treating like Sharon like shit. He beats up Kareem twice for trying to be with Sharon. He drives his father's truck through Kareem's pharmacy store window. Let's talk about the shooting. Explain the first shooting. That didn't make no damn sense.
Okay, so Barry and his dad are in the car. The dad figures out he has a gun. He tries to take the gun. Barry's, the typical wrestling over the gun scene, right? As the gun is pointing in a downward trajectory, it goes off. So nobody thinks anything of it. Then like a minute later, you see a woman running out of the house. They shot him. They shot my daddy. Da, da, da. And I'm like, okay, if the gun is going this way, how the hell it end up over there?
Tyler Perry.
Like the magic bullet, like it just.
Tyler Perry, man. Like, when people wrestle with the gun, the classic thing is one of the people wrestling is going to end up shot. That's how it's supposed to go. And it goes down, so you don't know which one it is until the person falls and that kind of bullshit. No, this is some Wanted. If you watch the movie Wanted, well, like with Angelina Jolie, the way she was able to swing the gun and curve the bullet, that's that bullshit that happened in this movie. That's what you want this show. They want you to believe. Hit the ground, hit some random dude, and then they have some kind of like George Floyd thing going on, so that becomes a thing. Like, we gotta stop the violence, and that becomes a whole protest thing. So now Richard is like, oh shit, like Barry is gonna be wanted for murder. We can't let Barry go to jail. He's so protective of this abusive son that is unbelievable. His wife Nancy also enables this piece of shit son. Mm-hmm. So then she is telling Sharon that you gotta be strong, girl. It doesn't matter what the man do. You got to be strong. You got to keep this relationship together. No, that's not how that works. No, your man treats you like shit. You go meet somebody who's better and treats you better, who has a job. Kareem has a job. Kareem was her ex-boyfriend. Kareem goes down on her on a regular basis. Kareem is has a job. Shit. I mean, like, he's a good dude. You had me at job. I mean, fuck. I mean, like,
matter of fact, he owns a pharmacy which is struggling apparently.
unless he wants
Let
to get
him
some
tell
ass.
it. Right. Unless he's horny, then he just shuts it down early so they can get busy in the back. With no condoms, but you're in a pharmacy.
Stacey said that
There
shit.
are condoms everywhere in a pharmacy.
No condoms. Oh man. Yeah. Anyway, Sharon, classic. Despite the fact that she's seen her boyfriend Barry beat up Kareem twice, drive a car through this man's job, wrestle with a gun with Kareem, shooting Barry's dad. Barry basically shot his own father, Richard, in the chest, then watched helplessly as Sharon saved Richard's life because Barry was just sitting up there pissing on himself because he didn't know what
and
to
she
do.
was like, call the cops. And he's like,
Nothing.
Because he had a warrant from the previous beatdown that happened.
Then he snatches Ruth off the street. No one stops him at all. All these black folks are like, well, I don't get involved in personal shit. I'm like, this woman is screaming, help me, help me. This man is trying to kidnap me. No one does shit. So anyway, she's still alive, but this is not the same Ruth from Ruthless, but she's still alive. But I was like, Barry is off the fucking hook. And Sam, his godfather, who's the lead Secret Service agent, just constantly is cleaning up after this kid. And then you find out Nancy. So what's the big reveal with Nancy?
Okay, so Barry had a cousin, Picky, who was the drug dealer that was screwing Gail. Come to find out, that's his brother. So Nancy got pregnant while her husband's at war and somehow hid that shit and then gave the baby to her crackhead sister to be raised. So he comes out and he turns out to be a shitty drug dealing goon while she's raising Barry to be a man child. Like, you failed twice, Nancy. You had 2 kids and they both rotten.
Yes. And you got Sharon sitting up there trying to nurse fucking Barry to sleep after he abused her all day, beat up Kareem. And she's like, lay down, baby. Lay down. Just put your head here. Shh, it's okay. Just hold me and go to sleep. I'm like, what kind of man, baby? What the fuck are we doing right now? What are we doing to black men? Just men in general. What are we doing right now? I was very disappointed in all that shit. Let's talk about sex without condoms. Let's move on to Kyle. And actually all the women. So there's Donald. So Donald is the chief of staff. Donald is married to Lily, who, fun fact, just got done playing Wendy Williams to the rave review of everyone on Lifetime. She's now the big hits. And Lily is stuck in a sexless marriage because Donald is gay. She don't know this, but his lover, which is Kyle, the crazy murdering Secret Service agent, former Ranger, okay, he hires Bobby, his former Ranger buddy and butt buddy, because at some point they had sex. He hires Bobby to get on a plane and seduce Lily so Lily can break up, so Kyle can break up Lily and Donald so Kyle can get back with Donald because Donald got mad that Kyle cheated on him with some other dude before the show even started. So that's what starts the tension between Kyle and Donald. Because for most of the series, Donald is like, get away from me, Kyle. I'm tired of you, Kyle, blah, 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 blah. So Bobby seduces Lily by basically telling her the bathroom in the Charlotte airport has a diaper changing table. I'll be in there and you join me later. And she gets up and bones this man on that table. What? I was like, this is too much. Then somehow he magically ends up at her house when she gets to DC. She shoots this man twice in the stomach.
Strategically. Remember, she purposely said that I missed all your vital organs on purpose.
Why? Because she's from
Watts. What is her backstory?
Because she's from Watts. She said that 3 times. Let you know she's from the streets, and she raised up to be a clothing designer because she black, so she got to be from the streets. Anyway, so after she shoots this man who she barely had sex with maybe a few hours ago, she's so obsessed with what happened to him, because Donald has this stranger in his house who's bleeding, whisked away by the Secret Service. And like Huck, if you remember Scandal in season 2, when someone shot Fitz, they thought Huck did it. It turned out to be Huck's girlfriend. But they took Huck to some Secret Service place in the Pentagon or some shit and tortured him until he gave up the goods. They did the same thing to Bobby. Bobby is zip tied to a medical bed, and these doctors are trying to heal him or torture him. I'm not sure which one. But either way, Kyle and this other Secret Service Max agent are watching this. Eventually, Kyle and Bobby are left by themselves. Kyle licks this man's blood. And he's like, hey, Bobby, how's it going? Because apparently they were friends and they knew each other. Bobby's somehow still alive. Let's just start with that. Like, you should be dead by now, sir. Eventually, Kyle cuts the zip ties and smacks Bobby on the ass as Bobby walks out limping from being shot twice in the stomach. And he's fine. Eventually, he's laying in Kyle's.
It's just through and through. You know, no biggie.
That's that bullshit. But the bandages are just in the front, not the back. But they're through and through.
One's in the back.
I was like, he should be dead either way. Like, let's.
But remember, when him and Lily have sex, she digs her hand into the bullet wounds.
Oh, that's right.
To get off.
That's right. He's like,
how they do it in Watts? I don't know. I think she got some type of background that we don't know about.
Season 2, we're gonna get to find out that she was also in the Marines. 2 points for Tyler Perry.
Branch that Tyler Perry. Yep, that's the only branch Tyler Perry is familiar with.
It's the Marines, but this time he actually went to the Rangers. So he must have did a little bit of research, and I was like, you know what, Tyler, good for you. You're expanding, and I'm gonna give you credit for that. Anyway, Bobby spends the rest of the show obsessing over Lily. Eventually, they become lovers. As Bobby tries to protect Lily from the fact that Donald is in fact also working for Victoria's parents, and supposedly he's going to be the next dynasty. Donald and Lily are been destined to be the next presidential family after the Franklins, apparently. But Lily ain't trying to hear that because she comes home to hear her husband Donald having wild, passionate sex with Kyle, because that's Tyler Perry. Once again, he will always have a woman sucking penis. He will always have gay sex in his shows. These are 2 things that are required in the Tyler Perry production. All right. Because Victoria tries to suck off Sam and Max to no avail. Like she can't even get someone to say, yes, I'll let you suck my dick. She can't even achieve that. Just like Millie. Millie couldn't get nobody to have sex with her either. It was real bad.
At the end, when Sam was, I guess, aroused and his wife came and he wouldn't turn around.
I told you. He had to hide his erection from his wife. Because
that's what happened when you go 3 weeks without giving your husband something because you too tired. Then your homegirl come over, you get all this energy to talk.
And Sam is in Tyler Perry form. Sam is running around butt naked in his house, just trying to have sex with him. Let's real quick. His wife was already in bed in night clothes. He comes home in his uniform, his suit uniform. The doorbell rings. He's like, you better get up and get dressed and get that door because, you know, my dick hard, so I can't do nothing. So then the wife, Priscilla, has to get up, go answer the door, talking to Nancy, who just got kicked out of her house because she just revealed that she cheated on her husband 20 plus years ago and had a son she didn't tell her. And Picky's the son, not the cousin. So clearly Richard was like, well, you got to go. So
why won't she tell him who the daddy is?
I know. So when she
was any little Joe Schmo.
when she was telling the story to Sharon, it implies that it was just some random dude that was, that was hitting her up. I thought it's someone in the cast. Like, I'm looking around, like, what older black man is in the cast that she kind of knows, but she's trying to keep her distance. But for some reason, she don't want to tell who the daddy was. But anyway, the point is, Nancy and Priscilla are sitting up there having a conversation in the guest room, and somehow Sam thinks it's a good idea to come run around butt naked and be like, "Hey, girl, you want some of this?" And she was like, "What are you doing?" Da, da, da. He's embarrassed. So now he has to go to work hard. He has to go back to the White House with a hard penis. And Victoria is just trying to have sex with somebody, and Sam becomes the focal point of her seductions until eventually, he just rock hard. And then Priscilla walks up in the White House, and she's like trying to talk to him, trying to say, "Hey, baby, how about when you get home, I'm gonna give you some." And he's like, She's like, "Turn and look at me." He's like, I can't because the penis is strong. So then he turns around and he's hard at work, and she's like, "You nasty motherfucker." Anyway. It was like, what is happening with this? Anyway, Kyle and Donald are in a full-fledged relationship, and now Lily is the beard who has to deal with the fact that her husband loves to have sex with Kyle, and Kyle's constantly rubbing this in her face. Kyle makes no bones about who he is and what he wants, and I respect that. He killed two Secret Service agents. He killed Max, and he killed Yuma. To cover up the fact that he took the decapitated body of Denise and tried to get rid of the body, and then try to make a story that Yuma, who was a lesbian, and you never see her have a love scene because Tyler Perry don't do lesbians. So you got her and you got Max, and then he kills both of them at Denise's boutique, which was awesome. I mean, that was a great scene. He's a killer.
What side of town is this boutique in? Because it's a lot of noise and nobody knows nothing.
That's Tyler Perry, man. People don't pay attention to shit. No matter what happens. Because when Victoria and the first family are out at lunch, she's like, people are watching. No, nobody gives a fuck. People just back there eating, not paying attention to nothing, not taking pictures of nothing. Because that's how Tyler Perry does it. It's a lot. It truly is a lot. What else?
So we were talking about Kyle, and I like how Kyle kind of subtly offered the president some dick, but he did it, cleverly. Like, I had a friend that was in your situation, and I was able to help him out, so I can help you out too. Wink.
And Hunter's like, "Oh, you're gonna find me another mistress?" He's like, "Okay, that's not what I meant, but all right, we can do that too. We can do that too." No. I love the part when the president tells Kyle, "Hey, Kyle, after you get done talking to Victoria, I'm gonna tell you to pull down your pants." And Kyle was like, "Absolutely, we can do that." And Hunter was like, "No, man, you're supposed to be like, for what? You're supposed to be upset." Like, why would I be upset? He's like, "You're supposed to be upset because I'm going to say, I want to see how much ass you have after Victoria chews it out." Well, that's not what I was thinking, but okay.
Oh, and remember they were like, "What type of woman you like?" And he's like, "I'm an ass man." And I was like, "Oh."
Because Hunter's like, "I'm a breast man. What about you?" "I'm an ass man," if I may. And then Victoria knows that Donald and Kyle are gay, so she's always throwing it in their face, which I'm like, I guess. Like,
it reminds me of Veronica from Time and Have-Nots.
She is. She's the Veronica of this show. Barry is Benny. He's definitely Benny. Mm-hmm. And Nancy is definitely Hannah, because she's the go-to church woman for no reason at all.
They just had a random baby on her husband.
Right.
And she had that talk with Sharon about how she stayed strong in the midst of temptation, but she had a whole baby. I don't understand. What was the strength? To push the baby out? Okay.
And no con, yes, I'm saying.
I was gonna say something crazy like she was raped or something. Like, "Oh, I was raped and I didn't want my husband to know, so I gave the baby away."
Oh.
Then you can kind of be like, "Oh, okay." But no, she just screwed some dude while her husband was away.
Ain't no condoms, man. Kyle don't use condoms when he's up in Donald. Lily don't use condoms when Bobby's up in her. I want Lily to come up pregnant. That's what I want. Lily to come up pregnant.
Aaron's gonna have a DNA situation because she just went from one to the other to the other.
Sharon?
From Barry to Kareem to back to Barry,
Yeah,
back to
yeah,
Kareem.
yeah. Sharon's gonna end up pregnant and I know who the daddy is.
Then wait to see what color the baby come out.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And look at his ears. Oh, he gonna be light skinned. It's Kareem.
Got that good hair. My bad. It's a wild shit, man. But definitely, I want to see who the dad is. I want to see who Victoria's dad is. He's the mastermind behind this whole thing. Oh,
you are a boy.
Yes.
I'm waiting for that scene.
Please, 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 please let it be the same actor. Let Papa Pope come back to be Papa.
I think he's a little too above Tyler Perry at this point.
All right, I give you that. I hope
they
he
might bring Clifton Powell in as Papa Pope. That's where the fuckery starts.
So it's gonna be golden after that. I'll be all over season 2. Season 2 is coming. I got to watch. So at the end of the series, what happened is Hunter's one. He does absolutely no presidential shit whatsoever. Okay. Nothing. If he ain't fucking, he's hiding his fucking. Like that's what he does. And he went too far with this whole Ellie thing. So when he replaces the Diana, the former press secretary, with the younger, lighter version that he's having sex with, Diana goes out there and tells all the business.
Now, what's gonna happen with her husband? Because he's like the chief of staff's main assistant or something.
Ellie? You talking about Ellie?
Ellie's husband.
Boyfriend. Ain't no husband.
Boyfriend, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm feeling boyfriend. I'm not. I mean, there are a couple. I know you're talking about the light skinned dude, Latin looking dude. Like yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. I don't know. I don't think he know. No, he does know. He's like, how the fuck did you get that job? So I think that's gonna be a thing. Like they're gonna break up. But she did a good job of coming in and talking about how Diana was, as bipolar and she's on medication. So she actually did a pretty good job.
You didn't talk about the drop the mic.
That's what I'm talking right now. She literally, she was like, after she drops all the tea about the fact that panties from a dead woman was found in the White House. Because Denise somehow left yellow panties, which makes no sense because she never wore yellow panties. But somehow she left some yellow panties in the White House. Diana thought that it was Ellie's panties because she just assumed that she was sleeping with the president. At the time that she made this an accusation, she wasn't sleeping with the president, but she did later. And then she was impressed for a white boy, as they discussed. It was a bit much, but she just said for an older man because he's apparently as old as her dad. Anyway, it's okay. So that happened. And then like Ellie comes in, tries to cover up the story. The old white maid finds Joan's body under the son's bed, under Jason's bed, and that's how it ends. So where does it go from there? Does Gail come back? Because again, the actress is doing Power. So is she doing this show and Power? Because I thought she was gonna get killed off, so she could do something a little bit more respectable. But paycheck's a paycheck, I guess. Because she's taking naked selfies, you know what I'm saying? She getting to the point that she pees on herself. She's jumping out of moving cars. It's a lot. Tyler Perry puts his actors and actresses through a lot.
Yeah, I want to get more of Victoria's backstory because she was saying something about she has scars on her back from, I don't know, whippings, I guess, from her childhood.
So she implies that her mother sent her to some kind of torture boarding school to get her in line, maybe for love.
Oh, is that where the kids are going?
Yeah.
Because Mom took the kids.
Yeah. Some kind of conditioning school that they're going to come back and be great.
We didn't talk about how the president uses that little SOS button to summon the Secret Service just to go get his mistress. And they were like, you know what this button is for, right?
It's an emergency. Emergency is an emergency.
This isn't I want pizza or coochie button. This is national security. Like shit.
I need shit. He's like, look, I need to go get my mistress. That's an emergency. So do it.
Reminds me when Fitz, he's like, I want to go out. And they had to do the whole Secret Service detail to go out.
Yeah. So even with again, you bring up Fitz. So when the season got to the point that he was single and Abby was his chief of staff, and he just had women running through there. That one episode, and he was just knocking them down. And then like that was the episode they wanted to deal with the whole real world story about the Secret Service agents who got caught with prostitutes in Brazil or some bullshit. And then like so then Olivia had to like chastise him to be like, well, if you humping all these women, your people are going to be humping all these women, which was obviously hypocritical because she was one of his mistresses. Anyway, this story was better. Like Tyler Perry did it better. You get one mistress who ends up dead in the president's bed. That's a story. Like, I mean, we still don't know who did it in this show. That's what Shonda Rhimes could have did. Like, much better than all these random hoses coming out of, Fitz's place, which meant nothing. If one of them would have ended up dead in his bed, that would have been a whole thing. Like, that would have been a much better story. Like, Tyler Perry actually came up with some better storylines in this series than Shonda Rhimes did, I thought.
Yeah, but they did that to David. Remember, he had the dead woman in his bed. The attorney general or whatever he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went out and got some woman, brought her home. He woke up the next day. She was dead in the bed.
That's right. And then Abby had to help clean it up, and she was like, "What the fuck?" Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else?
The whole Lily. Oh, not Lily.
Ellie.
No, Lily went to the room to see Bobby, and he was screwing the Asian girl.
Yes.
Kick the girl out, and the Lily just hop on the dick, like no shower, no nothing, just like, okay, well, I like a little Asian too, I guess.
That's a good point.
And Kareem and Sharon screwing in the pharmacy in broad view of all public. Anybody can walk up and see y'all screwing.
Which is exactly what happened. Wait, but like you said, at least he took the time to get under the desk to eat her out while she was working. That, by the way,
he ain't turning no profit because he eating too much time up. Sharon's behind. He can't sell drugs.
So we don't know who's selling drugs. First, it's implied that Kareem is selling drugs, which makes no sense because he's broke as shit. Then Kareem implies that Barry's selling drugs, which is absolutely wrong because he's broke as fuck and he's living with his parents. Okay. And the $100,000. So you pointed out that the $100,000 that he found next to that bloody knife, which makes no sense that someone just put a random bloody knife in a room with a whole bunch of money and no one knows who put the money or the bloody knife there. But you said Ruth mentioned it in Ruthless.
Ruthless, she said that she hid $100,000 at Barry's house.
And somehow she put a bloody knife there for some reason, I guess, too.
Maybe she sacrificed a chicken on the way out. I don't know.
Now we're going back to the tax collector.
No, but they said it was animal. Because remember, he took the knife.
Yeah, he said it was animal blood.
You know, they said it was animal blood. So I'm like, did she sacrifice a chicken or like, what are we doing? Like, I don't know. And at first I was thinking like, did they lie on the forensic just to get him off? But I don't know.
No.
He got off on all that, just saying, okay, Picky took my car. He had the gun. So he shot that dude, case closed. And what else? Oh, Ruth wasn't dead, so he wasn't culpable for that.
Yes. Even though somehow this random corpse of a woman had the exact same Barry tattoo that Ruth has, which we haven't seen on Ruth for the record. Like we seen her naked in the last episode. She didn't have a tattoo. When she was sitting up there about to suck off the highest, she did suck off the highest. She didn't have a tattoo. So that's one thing Tyler Perry didn't necessarily match up between the two shows. But you do see in this series, you do see them kidnapping Ruth's daughter. So that's part of the show. They just spun that off, and like, because Daikon is not in this. The highest is mentioned in this. The fact that his real name is Tyrone is mentioned in this. But again, Tally shoots herself, so she's dead. The original version of her. And there's no mention of the camp that they have in DC. Apparently in this show,
Tally said she had multiple children, not just one.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she says she leaves multiple children to Nancy and Richard, even though she just met these two people. And her only contact is that she helped kidnap this woman's daughter, a granddaughter, excuse me. Tyler Perry. Aaron, was it anything else?
Nope. I think that's it.
Right.
Barry was yelling that he killed Ruth when they were in the police station. And he was yelling at his mom, I killed Ruth, I killed Ruth.
And no one heard that? No. He's confessing to murder and no one walks in to say, hey, what's going on? What's happening here? They're arguing loud as fuck when Nancy's like, I had a baby by another man. They're screaming this shit at the hospital. And the doctor walks in like, hey, so we can let you out this afternoon unless we take some drugs. I do not hear them yelling and screaming like 2 seconds ago, ma'am. You were just right outside the door. And this man got shot in the chest. Like, there's no way he's going anywhere except for like the ICU. Like, how's he talking and moving at this point? I mean, Bobby took 2 slugs in the stomach and he good. I mean, so whatever. But it's amazing how people heal like in this show. All right, Tyler Perry. But basically, it seems like if any actor or character that is in the main credits is good. Like all of them seem to be alive except for Joan. I think Joan was the only character actor that was mentioned in the scene in the main credits opening scene who's dead. I think everybody else is still alive. Like Picky and Denise, Tally and all of them. None of them were in the main credits, so I think it's pretty easy for them to be wiped off. I think. So we just gotta see who's left. I think Gail might die because she has the actress has a real job, so she might not come back from, finishing school / assassin school. I didn't think about that till I said it, but I was like, yeah, that's right. She can come back an assassin and shit. Oh man, that'd be hilarious. If she tries to kill Victoria. I need more Victoria fights. I don't know who's gonna fight next. So she's gonna whoop Ellie's ass. She did beat Ellie's ass.
She snatched Ellie up. Mm-hmm.
Dude. Mm-hmm. As much as she says, I hate you, Hunter, you got a little dick and I love, she hates the idea that, they cheating on her. I mean, she really does care. Which I think it's a bad thing they do this to these women characters. That like the husbands don't give 2 fucks. You know what I'm saying? But they still make the women, be like all wounded and hurt. And, and I'm like, why can't they be strong and like, hey, I'm boning half the Secret Service staff. So you do, because I'm doing what I do. And just leave it at that. But they always make them these wounded, mean, spirited women. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, it just makes them look bad to me. Anything else?
No, just I thought Lily was toast when Donald got her and was choking her out. I was like, damn, Lily. But he needed her, and he I guess he loves her in his own little way.
But he can't get that dick moving.
It ain't working. Like, there was no attention being paid to her.
She sat on top of him, and she was like, you're bisexual? Let's find out. He was like, no. He looked like the highest.
This ain't it.
That's what Tyler Perry said. That's why he got divorced. I'll say it. I said it once. I said
we had it in the contract that you stick around for 10 years, then you go away, and I'll just pay you off, and you just skedaddle.
Yeah. Tyler Perry is gay, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing wrong being gay. There's nothing wrong with that. But Tyler Perry is gay on the inside. Like, he's hiding it, and he's using these shows to express it. Okay. But when you write, direct, produce all this stuff, and you consistently put certain things in the storyline, that's because that's what you want to see. Okay. He's gay. He just needs to accept it. He just needs to come out and be like, this is who I am. But he can't. I don't know why he just can't be himself, bro. But like, it's obvious. Okay. In your productions, Mr. Perry. Like, not one lesbian. Yuma was the closest. I was like, oh, we're actually get some lesbian representation. And then she ends up dead. You don't see her wife or nothing. Because that's not what Tyler Perry wants to see.
Remember, I thought when Victoria and Lily were going at it.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought like Victoria was getting a little turned on because people don't usually snap back at her.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe they're going to make out or whatever.
It's Tyler Perry
was like,
I don't need that. Let's get back to Kyle and Donald. That's what Tyler Perry wants to be. That's where he's comfortable. You good? All right, guys. This is a great show. I'm serious. And this show is so good. I actually tried to watch Sister, and then I was wrong. And I said, I won't do this again. I'm sorry. I forgot who Tyler Perry was. Like, well, I watched Ruthless and I watched The Oval, and I was like, oh, Tyler Perry stepping up when he got the BET. And then I watched Sister, and I was like, no, that's who Tyler Perry is. I remember that bullshit he likes to put out. So I was like, nope, you won't get a Sister review. I'll tell you that. Absolutely not. That was some ratchet shit in the first episode. I was like, this is sad. I mean, production quality shit, acting shit. I mean, I was just like, So there you go. That's your review. Not Sister. Not this channel. Anyway, we'll be here for the Oval season 2 that starts in February. So we got yeah. So like I think they finished filming actually. So there's gonna be some COVID, some bullshit. And please don't, Tyler Perry. Please don't throw COVID in there for no reason. Let's not do that. Let's have Kyle and Donald with face masks having sex. That's bet. It's gonna happen. One of his many gay scenes is gonna be some 2 men with some face masks having sex. I have no doubt.
Somebody gonna come into the pharmacy and ask for face masks, and that's it.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Ask for a vaccine.
Face mask, yeah, or some hand sanitizer. And that's gonna be it.
All right. We'll see. All right, guys. If you're still watching this video, Spill the Tea in particular. Again, I know you've asked us to do this show a few times, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. It's a great show. It really is a great show. Why do you watch The Oval? Why did you watch us talking about The Oval? What do you want to see happen in season 2? If you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. You can like on the video. You can comment on the video. You can share the video. Did we go too far? It happens. I mean, sometimes I say some things. Maybe like, David, why'd you say that? Put it in the comments. It's fine. I can take it. We'll see you again next week. And as always, as Jerry Springer says, take care of yourselves and each other. I was like saying this point because Stacey laughs. Look at her face. She's cracking up.